In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the Dii Consentes. These are also known as the Big 12, the 12 major gods and goddesses of Roman mythology. The first of the 12 gods and goddesses we're going to talk about is Jupiter. Jupiter was the god of the sky and the king of all the gods. The Romans considered Jupiter to be their god. Even though there's a Greek equivalent named Zeus, who you're probably familiar with, the Romans loved that Jupiter was the king of the gods because they considered themselves to be the kings of the earth. Of course, being the god of the air and sky, Jupiter had to select the eagle to be his symbol. Now because of that, the Romans also loved eagles, and they thought anytime they saw one it was a good omen. Not only that, they made it their national bird. Another symbol of Jupiter was the lightning bolt. In mythology, Jupiter would use the lightning bolt to strike down people he was unhappy with. The Latin word for lightning is fulmine. One of the most well-known myths about Jupiter that still survives until today is about his birth. You see, Jupiter was not the first child of Saturn. In fact, he was the sixth. Saturn's children before Jupiter were Ceres, Juno, Vesta, Neptune, and Pluto. But before Jupiter was born, Saturn had a vision that one of his children would rise up to overthrow him. So, in an effort to keep his throne as long as he could, he ate all of his children. And then, Jupiter was born. But in order to save Jupiter, Jupiter's mother gave Saturn a rock instead of a baby to eat. So we'll just say Saturn is not the brightest guy. He ate the rock, but it gave him such a stomachache that he threw it up along with all the rest of his children that he had just eaten. In the meantime, Jupiter had grown up to be an adult because that's how things work when you're a god. And he had planned the overthrow of his father. So Jupiter rounded up all of his brothers and sisters who also didn't like being eaten and got them together. They kicked out Saturn and Jupiter became the new king of the sky. So what's the big deal? Turns out Jupiter was really important to the Romans in their daily lives. They would sacrifice oxen and goats to make sure everything went smoothly. The Roman Republic revered Jupiter and essentially made him the king or leader of their entire country. For about 1500 years, Jupiter was the guy in ancient Rome.